Going on, guys? We're live. Broomstick, we are live here. As I said, this is my New Year's resolution. I don't really want to watch political cope, Manuresphere cope, anything like that. Um, so as a result, uh, we're gonna stream, man. I said I'd do it on stream. Really, my two resolutions so far, and I'm not like the resolutionist. I'm not that kind of guy. But I think like I do view a changing year as just oh whoop de doo, the sun went around the earth, and that's like the only significance of it, and the rest of it is just a man-made fabrication of significance. But I think it is a good time to like reflect on okay the passage of time. Broomsticks likes to talk about the passage of time a lot. So if anything else, that's something really good to do. So yeah, we're gonna watch our. And I guess my other resolution was leaving my phone in grayscale mode, which I've been bad about today. I've been okay about this political cope one. I'd give myself like a C plus. Like I've been doing it pretty good. I've been I really, I'll click on a at worst, I'll click on like a Sam Hyde video just to like have something to listen to in the car, like his dollar stream or whatever. But I don't know, like that's like at work. I'm really not, I'm like all this stuff is like a backlog of like okay, this is like typical slop. Old me would maybe at least click through. I'm not saying I'd watch all this stuff. I would at least click through this kind of content, but um you know, it's not like the new me of this year. I haven't been on this kind of
I was
stuff.
watching this on my own, and I was like, I think we need to watch this together as class. I think I'm gonna start 20 minutes in. I might skip to the hour mark because I thought the hour mark was where he really cooked, but I kind of want to see the beginning.
And before we go any further down this rabbit hole, I don't want to act like these two forms of improvement are mutually exclusive whatsoever. I advocate for all the same stuff you're talking about. I think that learning a high value skill is one of the most important things that you could do. I'm just saying that it's going to be easier for you to actually ascend and overcome a lot of the disparities in the dating market through looks. I'm not saying neglect, getting rid.
I don't know if our screen's set up. Does that do it? I think that fixed it, guys. I apologize. Hey, what's up, No Name? How you doing, man? I think I fixed the screen, hopefully. Hmm. Dang, do I have to restart the stream? No Name, if you're in here, let me know if you can see screen. Okay, I think I can see it. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm gonna continue.
Rich, neglect, your status, that would be absolutely ridiculous for me to suggest. So I'm saying a well-rounded mogger is kind of required with how difficult the scene is these days.
I grant. I sometimes think that I got the last chopper at Nam, because I'm a millennial and
I hate. Oh my! I got the last chopper out of Num, but at least he's like aware. He has like some kind of baseline awareness. Like it's probably better than my parents about yeah, this topic. And yeah, obviously this is clavicular. This guy's gone to crazy lengths to do his looks maxing. I think the most significant that come to mind are he does these things called peptides. I've even seen him like shoot them into like the bucinators of his face. Like I don't know what those are. If you guys know about peptides, let me know. But methamphetamine. He does methamphetamine to stay lean. Do not condone that. I do not condone that.
So Michael Knowles and a lot of these conservative types really are gonna. They're a little bit late because social media is much more important.
If it's okay with you guys, I'm gonna watch this on the little sped up. I just yeah, like I can't be doing this. I guess pearly things. Maybe you can't do that, or maybe
Now,
whatever.
I can't remember the numbers, but the percentage of women that actually have like have a TikTok and even Instagram with like followers, it's a good percentage of the market. So I think maybe Michael Knowles is like a mid millennial. I think middle age. I think he's like 40, 30s, mid 30s. Okay, you want it to be higher. So Michael knows about all the degeneracy. If anything, his age group partied harder than we did. Um, but I don't know if looks
I took her like 10 seconds to collect her thoughts there. Just pearly brain farts.
was as important then, because he probably would have been in like the Facebook generation.
I was single for a bit, and I always liked dating when I was single, but I, married the love of my life, and we have this great life. And I think, man, if I had to date in the year of our Lord 2025, I would be very upset. I would have to learn how to mog. I would have to learn how to mew. I would have to learn all these skills that I don't possess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that the main reason that is because of Instagram, right? And a lot of people don't understand the implications of, access to the internet and access to communicating with everyone across the entire world, essentially. So what that looks like in terms of a hypergamy standpoint was, maybe you had a girl from your town who's going to try to date above her looks level, maybe just in her immediate surroundings. But now we've got people like, professional athletes DMing them on Instagram, flying them out. So you're not just...
Yeah, and the thing is, you guys have no idea how prevalent this is. Well, maybe the younger guys do. I think there's kind of a lot of cope for men that aren't actually dating attractive women or women in the dating market. Now, not every woman's going to be able to get in contact with an A-list celebrity. Do you think A-list celebrities... But even, actually, do you know what? Even me, I've met one or two. I mean, they didn't hit on me. Shocking, I know. But just getting in contact with that high level of men kind of messes women up. So, especially if you're delusional and think you have a chance.
Competing with the top chads of your 15-mile radius, you're competing with the entire world. So it's
the chads of the world, maybe who even live in Chad.
The Chad, dude, he's just gonna be using the chat. Chad as a buzzword, and he's kind of, people need to be careful with it. Like, I don't know, it's just like just flaunting it around. Like, I had this. I'm gonna say like the meme phrase. A buddy of mine in college. He would just it'd be literally any white semi like 5'11" or taller white guy with like no deformities, like no visible deformities, like not even saying the attractive guy, just like a guy like that. This Indian friend of mine would just call him like Chad automatically, and it was just really fried. So
Chad.
Yeah,
the nation of Chad.
You got no idea. Well, I doubt it, but so it's becoming increasingly difficult to compete as like the average guy. So there's this purgatory zone where even someone who's average to above average could be struggling to secure a long-term relationship a lot of the times, and that's like really alarming.
This is very interesting because the observation you're making pertains to the economic discussion too. A lot of the debates over free trade and economic policy in the last 10 years have revolved around the perils of globalization. Previously, you only had to compete against your countrymen. Now you got to compete against your countrymen. The flood of foreigners that comes in.
I just hate how we talk. I hate how we talk. Like, are you human? Do you know what I mean? It's like
across an open border and a globalized world with jobs being outsourced all over the globe.
Yeah, exactly. Very similar. But yeah, no, even if it was just domestically, like things are really bad. Like when you've got girls being like flown out by like Shaquille O'Neal, and you're just an average guy making, maybe $80,000 a year. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Does that happen? Does Shaquille O'Neal fly out girls from Palookaville?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, look, if you actually go through like the numbers, like some of these guys are banging. I know a guy that goes through like 50 to 100 women a year. That's a lot of bitches. That is a lot of bitches, So there are men that like run through entire towns.
Absolutely.
Does he really, or is that the thing? Like, it's a fun story, and I guess it could happen. But does that really happen?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I've seen professional athletes like following like girls I knew from like my hometown. Like this is like a very common thing, because with how degenerate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Michael Knowles he's a simp. So the simps, there's the pimps, the simps, and the sexless. Now the pimps know what's going on because they're the ones pimping. They're banging all the women. The women bang the pimps but sell purity to the simps, and the simps, they want to believe the lie. Like Michael Knowles and his wife broke up in college. What do you think that she did in college? I mean, the pimps know. They're like, we know, but we're not going to say anything because we need the simps to clean up our mess. Obviously, my point is this: the women know what's going on, the pimps know what's going on, the simps want to believe that it's not that bad, but it is that bad.
Society has moved. These girls are taking on so many different sexual partners that that there's a lot of plausibility for this
Wait, I love Michael. No, his just there. Like that was really funny.
stuff.
So the promiscuity is a major problem. I mean,
Right.
on a whole host of social levels. But what you're telling me is, looks maxing is chiefly about getting a girlfriend.
No.
And that's what he's trying to belittle him, right? He's trying to like make it. It's kind of like the incel argument.
Your looks are going to improve your quality of life in a lot of different regards, whether it be in the workplace, just overall opportunities presented to you. This is all going to be tailored to looks. And the main thing that you need to understand is the halo effect. I don't know if you've heard about this.
What is the halo effect?
The halo effect is that people are going to perceive the things that you say and the things that you do a lot better if you're good looking. Right?
Yeah.
So
There's like that meme where some really good-looking guy goes up and he's like, "Hey, Shelley,
There's like that meme.
nice dress today." And she's like, "Oh,
Right.
thanks, Giga Chat." And then some
Exactly.
like fat guy walks up. He's like, "Nice dress, Shelley." And she's like, "Hello, HR."
Exactly, yeah. So no, that's a pinnacle example of the halo effect and what that looks like. So if you've got to be this fat slob who's getting HR complaints for shit that you saw, another guy do 2 seconds ago, that's got to be quite brutal. So just your overall well-being, if you're an unattractive person and no one even wants to look at you in the elevator, no one even wants to shake your hand or acknowledge you, it's horrible for your mental well-being. And that's why I think looks maxing goes a lot further than just getting a girlfriend. Like that seems like a very silly thing to do.
At least, though, you would have to say the thesis of looks maxing is that looks are the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
What about the
And that's true. Look, and this isn't. I'm someone I could have looked maxed more in my life. I never cared about this stuff. But I've seen women. This is the thing. I've seen women get surgeries and their lives change. I'm just being I'm being for real here. I've seen women and men, not men as much, but I had a friend who was an 8+ in a former life. She got to hang out with A-list celebrities. I've met women that are just paid to be hot. I mean that I agree with him. I think that's actually, and I said this to the Black Pillars years ago, that I do think it starts with looks.
This is San Francisco. The same city that was founded by Catholic missionaries was about to host the first public strip club in America.
Only a few days after the ICE shooting in Minneapolis, and what have we gotten in this past few days? We get protests all around the country. We get Chaz 2.0, where all these fucking idiots are running around, beating drums, doing dance lines, and just looking retarded. We get video evidence from like 30 different angles of the shooting, including from the guy who shot the woman.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
And everybody has a different take. I've seen one side of the aisle say it's completely vindicated, it was 100% self-defense, and then I see news articles and another side of the aisle saying, see, she was turning her wheels, and she didn't mean to hit him, and that doesn't justify him shooting. It's like, dude, one thing's for certain is that a majority of the people that are protesting, that are saying her name, and they are trying to get justice for her death, they don't actually give a shit about her. They don't actually care. And it's mainly because she's a white woman. You know, the only reason they're doing this much for her is because she died from an ICE agent. That's it. It is an opportunity for these people to push what they believe in, which is their battle. It is their war on ICE to protect immigrant families. And it's kind of crazy because...
Sorry if I'm quiet, guys. I'm doing my Chud map game time in the background also. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, this is just like one of those Call of Duty like YouTuber slops and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know the genre I'm trying to allude to. Um, but yeah, man, like genuinely. Um, yeah, stuff's crazy, right?
This nation.
I'm gonna fast forward. This guy's he's yep.
And a lot of times they have different accents or they speak other languages, right? They killed this woman.
The indoctrination begins early.
To take all of the immigrants. Remember we talked about that? Like the people Daddy helps? What are immigrants? I don't know. So they're the people that come from other countries and then they live here. And a lot of times they have different accents or they speak other languages, right?
It is because as a nation we are so cucked and we're just all a bunch of fucking pussies to where we don't want to upset women. Not Jewish women, not black women, not Mexican women, not Indian women, white liberal women. The type of white liberal woman like this chick who died in her car, who thought that it was more righteous of her to go and obstruct ICE agents from doing their job and enforcing the law. And they all believe that her paying with her life to do so makes her some kind of saint, turns her into some kind of hero, when in reality she's just dead. And all this is going to do is create more division. This isn't unifying anybody. And the people who are protesting, they know that. They don't care about that. And you know, the line for unity was crossed like a long time ago. That's not an option anymore. In fact, the only type of peaceful solution there is.
Nothing will ever happen. I don't know. This guy says this stuff for views. I feel like sometimes at this point.
To any of this isn't a peaceful solution at all. It's peaceful from the viewpoint of society not completely collapsing, but it's still going to be violent. You know, it's still going to be some level of violence, some level of blood, because this just can't go on. What we have in this country is disorder on the highest level. We have people that won't enforce the laws because they're afraid of offending white women. They're afraid of offending women in general. Feminism has completely grabbed this nation by the balls and chopped them off. America as a nation has no fucking nuts left. We can go all around the world and we can do insane levels of shit, but when it comes to actually cleaning house at home, when it comes to actually enforcing our own laws, which, by the way, half of the country actually wants us to do. They want our government to enforce the laws. But all these different governors, police officers, all these different people, and even citizens, they say no. They get mad. They get offended because it's illegals, because it's this, because it's that, because it's abortion, because it's whatever. It doesn't matter. This is an ideological war. It's not just a racial thing. There's more to that. It's not just propaganda. There is more than that. There are people that have bought into this to such a degree that they are willing to literally die so they can protect the lives of people who do not give a fucking shit about them. You think any of the Somalis that Renee Good would have protested to keep in this country, you think any of those people would have done the same for her? Do you think any of those immigrants would have taken a bullet to the head for her so she could live somewhere? No. And this idea that there isn't a problem with certain groups of white people, it's completely delusional. One of the biggest threats you as a white American or as an American in general have is against other white people who have a fetish for racial suicide, who literally hate themselves and hate their own groups and hate their own race. And no, I'm not talking about Jews.
I mean, as much as this is like normie slop content, I think that like what he's saying is important. Like the crux of the message, just forward a bit.
It's just enforce the law. Enforce some level of the law. And if there's going to be states, if there's going to be cities that refuse to cooperate, that refuse to get rid of the illegals that are here, whether it's in their cities, their states, what have you, if they're going to defend those people, then fuck it. Don't send anybody in. Box them in. Cut them off. You know, Trump and them, they came out, they said we're cutting off SNAP benefits to Minnesota and all these different things. That's actually a good idea. That's a good strategy. If these people want to fucking riot and burn their own cities down, And if they want to protect non-American citizens, even with their own lives, and obstruct people from actually enforcing the laws of this nation, just so you understand, a nation that does not enforce its own laws is not a nation. This is not a functioning society. We are a zero-trust society. That's not something an average person would have said 20 years ago. Somebody's going to say, oh no, I totally would have said that 20. I'm not talking about you, genius. I'm talking about the average American. The average American 20, 30 years ago would not have said this was a zero-trust society. They would have had some hope. There is none. We have no unity. We have no brotherhood. There is no patriotism. The only thing we have is borders and laws. Can we enforce that? Oh, but they shut the border down. They stop people from coming in, but we have people that are here. And look, the ICE agents, they're under a lot of pressure. I get it. They don't have enough manpower. I get it. They probably don't even have enough training, to be quite honest, because it's probably a lot of fucking bullshit they have to put up with, obviously. So I get it. It's an uphill battle. But dude, there's got to be some better way of doing all this. There's got to be some better way of enforcing these laws, of doing these things. And at the first sight of resistance from people who are just retarded as hell, who are going to obstruct you from actually performing those duties, you're just going to run away, you're just going to hide. And this honestly falls on Trump entirely. This falls on this administration entirely, and I'll tell you why. It's because the execution of all these things has been so bad. And I understand it's an uphill battle. I get it. I get there's a lot to it. But it doesn't change the fact that the execution is bad. It doesn't change the fact that this has been done in a way to where people feel emboldened and they feel safe. They feel safe enough. Really. They might not say that, but they do. They feel safe enough to where they can go out and they can obstruct people and they can ram their cars into ICE agents and they can jump on things. Even with this lady getting shot. Even with this lady getting shot and the reaction to it, they're not afraid. They're not afraid of these systems. They're not afraid of these people. And a lot of people are going to watch this and they're going to say, well, that's a good thing. They shouldn't be afraid of their government. Well, when their government's trying to enforce basic laws, there has to be consequences, and there are no consequences. It's like if you do good in this nation, if you do what you're supposed to, if you go to work, if you pay your taxes, you get completely fucked over. You get completely and utterly fucked in the ass as an American if you are a good, decent citizen. But if you're a piece of shit who doesn't obey the laws, or if you scam, or if you do whatever the hell you want to do, you can get away with it, and you don't go to prison, and you don't get deported. A nation that does not enforce its laws is not a nation. This is a recipe for complete disaster. This is a recipe for total collapse.
All right, we're gonna fast forward again. This is a long video.
Martial law in these cities or these states that are completely going against federal law with just basic immigration policies. If they're willing to go against you on that, and if you're not willing to do martial law in those places from the point of view of, hey, these governors, these mayors, these police officers, they're completely failing their communities. They're actually not upholding the law of the land. They're actually not enforcing the rules of this nation. So we're going to come in and do that for them. If you're not willing to do what's necessary for that, then yeah, box.
So I wanted to highlight a comment that I got from one of my members.
This is Normie Slop
very
here.
good comment. Break it down
MGTOW
and
Slop.
give you my thoughts on it, because I think it really stood out to me. And so let's get into it. So what they had said was, quote, "You are becoming a dad to a lot more people than you'd think producing the content you are, which is why I support you. More men in my age bracket, early 20s, need more exposure to men like you that are teaching, not preaching or virtue signaling. Well-spoken, straightforward, self-respecting, and deeply thinking. Too many men are walking around aimless and misdirected. There is a massive leadership and brotherhood gap in the current male landscape. Your content serves to prevent that, one upload at a time. Thanks, Pops." Well, thank you. I appreciate that comment. It's 18, 25, whatever. I made decisions without understanding the long-term cost. It was all living in the moment. Having clear information earlier would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of stress, and years of recovery. And so the comment, it doesn't compliment tone or personality. What it does is it highlights the difference between explaining reality and telling people what to believe. Right? The difference between teaching and preaching. And that the difference, it decides whether men listen or they tune out. Because with preaching it tells men what they should think without explaining why. And it also assumes some type of moral authority over them. And sometimes without accountability attached to it. Whereas teaching shows men what actually happens after specific choices are made. I did A, B happened. That's the consequence. But if they're being preached to, then men are just going to shut down, especially if they feel judged or talked down to. I think that applies for anyone in general. No one likes to be talked down to. Men, they engage when they're given direct information, when they're given facts and allowed to make their own decisions. Because at the end of the day, they have to make the choice. If they're a legal adult, then they have to make the choice. You can give them all the information in the kiss, keep it simple.
Normally slop. All right. What else we got on here? That Lungs of Faith video might be good. Let's do Arthur.
This chart is literally the only thing you need to understand in order to navigate your future in the sexual market. And it has been verified consistently from reputable sources both on the left and the right across the board, regardless of their narrative biases. I think one was the Institute of Family Studies, there's the Heritage Foundation, on and on and on. There are literally dozens of studies that have came across the stacking of all of this information with absolute correlation on the information at hand here. So I'm going to keep up this chart here for a little while because it's literally all you have to know to protect yourself and live a life of health and happiness. So first thing is this: the vast majority of women globally, not only in North America anymore, but across the board, are zombies. They're completely dead spiritually and have no ability to pair bond beyond 3 measly years at most. And I know this is typical red pill talking points, but as I often say, the Manuresphere gets their diagnoses correct about 50% of the time, but the solutions are always non-existent and dedicated to coping and circle jerking one another instead inside of this stupid online echo chamber. So let's look at this here. This is a chart displaying the statistical chance of long-term marital success amongst couples based on how many sexual partners a woman has had. When she's had no past, as in she's never had sex, she has an 80% chance of remaining loyal to you. In other words, you took her virginity, with only you being the sexual partner. But if she gets only one more sexual partner, the percentage goes down all the way to 54%. It's fucking crazy. So once the honeymoon phase wears off, with whatever girl you're fucking 5 times a week, you're basically flipping a coin on whether or not she will tell your son that you abandoned him because you hate him. And by 5 sexual partners, the percentage goes down to 30%. Insanity. That means her oxytocin circuitry is so fucked up and convoluted that her pair bonding is more or less non-existent. And this data is over a decade old. Brother, with all that being said, look at the current set of affairs that we find ourselves under.
What is the average body count on campus?
30?
30? Actually?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't that high?
That's high?
You don't think that's high?
No.
55?
Yeah.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
Nope.
That's a lot.
It's Santa Barbara. It's a big amount. I could take a guess. I'd probably say like 50.
50? Why is that the norm here, bro?
It's Santa Barbara. Come on.
The body count's 50.
Average? Depends who you're talking to.
Well, we're talking to you, so what's the average?
50, 50s?
50. 50.
Probably like 56.
56? Genuinely 56? Are you joking?
The average? Maybe like 30.
30. the norm around here.
I think.
Like, what do you guys guess the percentage now is for these girls that we just watched over here and heard? Like, how fucked is this generation? Like, a lot of you get angry at me for being a doomer without realizing that I'm not intentionally trying to focus solely on bleak matters. I'm just opening my eyes and look at what people are hyperfixating on and presenting for themselves. You all claim that I'm being very pessimistic when I'm literally just telling you to stop putting your head inside of the sand. I just care about reality. I'm actually an incredibly optimistic and happy person for those of you who have the pleasure of knowing me in the real world. So let's get one thing straight here. Whether you are a traumatized and forever rejected involuntary celibate brought up by a feminist single mother who tortured you for simply being a boy in her misandry, or whether you're a 6'4" supermodel who uses dating apps like Tinder to order 6s or 7s to your door like pizzas, what brings ultimate catharsis is being in mutual commitment to a pure-hearted and feminine woman with a pretty face. I don't really care what type of bravado you flex with your masculinity or how much money you have in the bank. That is what we all want if we're actually direct and honest about our convictions. This is the ultimate ideal. That wholesome, picturesque family model that is dedicated to making healthy goals together as a couple while showering their children with unconditional love and communication oriented towards vulnerability and processing. Like, you tell me, what in life could possibly be more fulfilling than that? And when you live in a nation of zombies, as in the female population, they're all zombies here, courtship itself is an utter waste of time, so your selectivity must be circumscribed even further if you want to even have a slim chance for yourself in this market today. Not only towards procreation, but genuine romantic happiness. It's about understanding the circumstances that most of us find ourselves in this modern culture. And I know I'm not speaking ideally because tradition is more or less tossed outside of the window. And for those of us who decide to still live biblically due to the success rate associated with this framework, we have to more or less live inside of a time capsule to successfully pull this off in the first place and very consciously limit our screen time as well. But for most of the planet, this is still very useful. It's really about utilizing principles that will actually never change, or at least utilizing these principles until mankind wipes himself out. Because a woman's purity is the most important quality at hand, even more so than her level of attraction. To keep it a stack with you here, it's what determines your long-term happiness when it comes to family creation, because ultimately life is about being everything for your kids. That's why I believe everyone is so short-sighted today. They need to refocus their compass towards this. We're trying to live lives of meaning and gratitude here so we feel blessed, right? I encourage you all, of course, to slightly mog your significant other to have proper leverage. I've said this before, but if her purity is not as clean as yours, your halo simply won't matter. She'll still find somebody as good looking or better than you to gallivant with. So the long-term deciding factor here, again, as much as I care consciously about elevating your aesthetic sensibility, the spirit is always going to be tantamount to the definition of success itself. The purity is actually what matters ultimately. And that's because ultimately where we're heading is a clarity of us seeing that it is a spiritual war. Because it's all a spiritual war. And that's what I've been saying from the get-go. The political domain, for example, that I talk about, well, everyone fixates on investing their energy and hope and even their resources onto some controlled opposition political candidate who only follows God as a fucking costume, but doesn't actually have sanctity in himself, or have at all, which is why his secret energy source for looking erudite and proper is an overcompensating force from secretly participating in pedophilia-based honeypotting. But I'm getting distracted here. The point is that even attraction must be a spiritual matter, because all of these women that the mainstream looksmaxers or the red pill influencers in the manosphere, the masculinity coping sphere, parade around to show off their sexual market status symbol do not impress a motherfucker like me. They're flexing their own inadequacy and lack of wisdom. The people sitting at my table, my type of people, my kin, they want nothing to do with those type of women. They are disgustingly impure and lack the virginic makeup to even acquire noble male attention in the first place. All these type of men are doing to me is signaling how they can't get virgins, or even a woman with less than 3 bodies, which is basically a virgin in today's metric. But their priorities are all fucked up. That's my point. They're totally topsy-turvy. I often say that men have become women and women have become men. The genders have literally switched roles. And I say this because to be male is to be spiritual ultimately, and every philosopher will back this up and can prove this by excavating the human mind. That's what should be the tip of the spear in regards to all of your dedication towards peacocking and exposing yourself and your values in the public square. All of your ideas should still be instilled and anchored on this journey first. And most men today have been so brainwashed and so broken that they believe a plastic-induced so-called 8 out of 10, which she isn't, by the way, that's their own psychological operated lens that are blinding them, is a more desirable woman than a simple-minded girl who's maintained her docility and purity. Like, of course, beauty is one of my primary axioms. This is something that I hyper enjoy and talk about quite often. I've made that very clear consistently, but never at the cost of your soul. Like, most of you are genuinely not searching for the right things, and it's actually very heartbreaking because you're being led astray, and I hate to put myself in the shoes of the average social media slop-consuming male who hyperfixates solely on looks maxing or arguing with political bots on Twitter, because we're circling the drain here, gentlemen. The zombies are only taking over further. What do they say? 45% of millennial women will be childless and single by 2030. 45% of females in this generation are zombies who have 0 attribute points in loyalty and submission. Like, don't waste your time with these girls. They will never obey you, so what's the point if you can't even teach your kids without never-ending eggshells and policing from a companion who does not even respect your authority as a male? In those circumstances, you are better off alone, actually. And a secondary point that is related to the video, but a totally different topic, is that this is because of sexual liberation. You know, it's funny because if you actually want to revert back to a more traditional order for the sake of social cohesion, all you have to do is cut out the welfare state and revert back all of the rights of women. I know it's an uncomfortable truth, but that is the circumstantial reality if you want to be upfront and blunt about it. But most people on both sides of the political aisle don't want to have this conversation. Like 90% of the so-called dissident right, they push the content of female influencers while talking about returning to tradition. So they're totally unserious hypocrites. Because as a society normalizes industrial...
Why you recording? Because I'm curious if this is...
Why are you recording? Where you from?
No. Who's into you? Me. I'm an independent person.
What are they hiding? If this was a legitimate daycare center, they might say something like, hey man, you're making us nervous. You got to leave or we're going to call the cops. We don't know what you're doing here. This...
no name wrote, dad mode looks like Raymond if he had hair. Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. And my stuff freezing up. Come on now. My Google Chrome crashed. I don't want to click too much. The hell did this guy do to my Google Chrome? I guess we can try this. Dang. Honestly, guys, it's about time to end the stream, though, because I gotta go. A bunch of anime just released, like the new JJK's out. Hell's Paradise Season 2. Fire Force is back. Like, there's a whole bunch of anime that's coming out. I know Freerun's coming out in, like, on Monday or something like that. So, I'm about to go to my homie's place, and we're gonna go watch some anime and smoke. So, oh, okay, it's coming back.
Because I'm curious if this is a child.
All right, we'll speed through this one.
And people will kill.
People, dude, this guy's hilarious. This old boomer talking about the law.
This is why the Dems are so upset about the situation. If we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal migrants, then they will leave and lose voters. So it's not just about the money being stolen. It's also about the political power. The Dems pay them to come here and turn them into voters. Another post from Elon: the Somalis and many other groups were imported, given government handouts, and allowed to do fraud without prosecution in order to ensure that a Democrat would win the election in that district. Elon Omar. And again, it's not just Minneapolis. Why are so many fake child care centers donating to national Democrat races? Remember, the money they steal, a portion of that, part of the deal, is it gets funneled back to Democrats. That's how Act Blue works, with these little tiny donations. So the Democrats are able to raise $2 billion to $3 billion every election cycle. It's your money. And to do that,
I don't know. I feel like a guy like this, like if he was like really passionate about what he's talking about, let's be honest, like he's just, he has his law degree and he collects a handsome check from this YouTube channel, and then he has, these. He probably gets paid like a boomer check to go like, oh, bro, teach us this course on legal self-defense, bro. But, I mean, just like, if he was serious about like, shocking the system and like actually making a change, bro, he could like mobilize all these chuds. If he got 274K subscribers, but he's a comfortable boomer, bro.
They're allowing tens of billions to be stolen, so they can get that subset of 2 to 3 billion in their campaign coffers. And of course, they steal elections, not just with campaign money, but through voting. Scott Pressler, who does great work registering people to vote Republican, MAGA, says here's how vouching works for Minnesota.
Talk about the 700 bill to Care Bear Land every year. Yeah. Your desktop audio is like 1/10 compared to your mic. Oh, is it really that bad? We can turn this up to max, and that'll help a little bit.
Minnesota residential facilities.
I want it to be good enough where I can talk over the video.
I work for a residential facility. I have 300 residents who want to vote, and they all get to vote. That one person who runs the facility can vouch for hundreds of people from that facility.
Women and politics. I'm going to explain how they work together using this empty container of chamomile bath salts that came...
Oh, I did cheat on my New Year's resolution a bit more. I watched the new rehab room video. It was really good. It was just about a guy who, his GF got robbed, and he basically just effed off out of there until the situation was safe. And you can't even blame the guy.
This gay little spoon is adorable.
Very smart move. Very smart move.
So first of all, I just bought a house. Here's my YouTube award on the wall.
Redditor award.
I'll show you the house because someone will geolocate it, but I just got the floor done. My real estate lady got me a welcome package, including a
we have his, like, I'm not gonna say too much, but I know what his facial physiognomy score is. Like, I know what Hobath's facial physiognomy score is. And then also I know he is like 43, so like, life's quote unquote over for him in a way. Like, a girl in her 20s isn't going to really find you attractive when you have that facial physiognomy. All I'm saying is, do you guys know who Gru is from, you guys know Gru from Despicable Me? That's all I'm going to say.
Amendment plaque and some coasters and some bath salts with this ridiculous little spoon that would never work. I want you to focus on the spoon. A spoon is a thing with a purpose. This spoon is for cooking, this spoon is for eating, and this spoon is for absolutely nothing. Why would anybody want to buy this or manufacture it? Look how ridiculous this is. This is just not an effective way of getting things done. There's not much happening here.
Bro, get on with the point, like, goddamn.
About relationships, almost anything.
Bro, this is so unserious.
It all makes sense if you assume that they are maximizing for the number of babies to be taken care of. And that's probably one of the reasons that my real estate lady selected this. It's a baby spoon. It can't do anything by itself. It needs love. That's what I've been referring to as deserving, using this arrow. The way that works is how, like, men have to go fight with God, they have to go fight with nature to make buildings and food and stuff, and then women just deserve it, and that would be this blue arrow here, and then the red arrow is men providing it to them, and then of course children deserve the most because they're useless like this thing. Well, remember, deserving is something that women tend to naturally do. They tend to just deserve all of this stuff, and then you get me. And when women don't have babies, they start making them out of everything. And the amount that you are a baby is the amount that you are small and helpless, and nobody is more helpless than women, who can be victimized by greeting cards, and minorities, who are actually 93% of the population. So now you understand. You have nothing because the government took it away and gave it to everyone else, because women vote for deserving. So women deserve and babies deserve, and if there aren't enough babies, we'll just make some out of whatever we can find. And you are the baby that has too much and needs to share, even if you actually have nothing. And that's women and politics.
I mean, that's part of the reason why, a guy like, Thomas or me or whoever, like, if you're this grown, 6 foot plus, white dude, they just think, ooh, you don't, you are the oppressor. What's going on here?
My husband at work has experienced a ton of racism. For example, one of his coworkers openly made a joke saying,
This stream's been fun, y'all. I don't want to log off, but I told my homie I'd watch anime. I turned my Chud map game off too. I'm just focused on the stream right now. I said I'd log off, but I want to do another like 5-10 minutes.
I came here alone, despite that we're not supposed to go to protest alone, because I don't want my partner.
Okay, I want to watch the Vrillion video, I guess.
I understand that a few people have talked about white privilege, but I need you guys to understand there's a lot of internalized racism.
Did you guys see the pics of him when he was going through his like rainbow ubiquita phase?
Folks, it's official now. Gamers are the most oppressed minority.
I think I'm gonna call it after this one. I might not even watch the whole thing. We'll see.
Folks, we are taking a look at I saw this on Twitter and I jumped out of bed, broke my scroll, okay? Immediately came into the studio and said I have to do
Where's my speed up for real? There it is. Jeez.
Pathways by Shoutout UK. For those who don't know, Pathways is a browser-based interactive educational video.
Oh yeah, the UK made like one of these slop games.
Funded by the UK Home Office Prevent program, I guess that's the name of it, aimed at schools to teach pupils aged 11 to 18 about
What's with the UK in the slop teaching? And they think like there's the whole thing about like they that one Netflix docu was like a it was loosely based on like a real adolescent killer of someone in the school, but the killer was like not this like young British guy. It was like a first gen African immigrant or something. So yeah, that was totally just Netflix slop. And then they talk about like Mr. Tate and stuff, AT, and like just a whole bunch of slop. And then the UK's like, oh well, it's not that we're introducing people who aren't native to the culture and feel like outsiders, and we're doing it like in high propensity or whatever. That's not the reason for like crimes against women and grape against and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's because Mr. Tate is going viral on TikTok.
extremism, radicalization, online safety, media literacy, and the prevent duty, the duty of an organization to stop kids from, I don't know, like not wanting to live under Sharia. Anyways, those like Japanese like visual novel games, I don't know why Doki Doki Literature Club is the only one that comes to mind. It's like that. It's like a point and collect type game. The reason it's under fire is because it's a game that measures how extreme you are, and if you're too much of a right-wing extremist, in England they will literally send police to your house. Like, if you don't do well in this game, they will come to your house, they'll come to your school, and they'll try to counsel you. A re-education video game. Luckily for us, this show is filmed in America, where we have freedom, so I can play the game and as much fun as I want. So folks, make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow all the things influencers tell you to do. Make sure you join the Telegram if you want updates on streams, new episodes, and just to hang out with me, your friend.
All right, get on with it, bro. Damn.
Browsing new games and websites that some of his new friends use. Sometimes though, the people on these websites say things that seem off, even slightly concerning. Oh, I want to do that. I don't know, I would never do that. say something that seems off or slightly concerning. Folks, I'm not that kind of guy. But someone on this website has encouraged Charlie to download, this is 2005, download a video, but Charlie is unsure. How should Charlie react? Tell a trusted adult, talk to a stranger online to find out more about the video, or download the video. Here's
Talk to the stranger.
this game is like, is there a dialogue tree that takes me down the radicalization, but it's like the other way? Like, can I make Charlie join ISIS? Like, is there an option where Charlie accepts the blinding light of Islam and moves to Syria and joins the Grand Caliphate? Because honestly, in terms of like radicalization going on in England, that is far more plausible and far more common than any of this. But I'm downloading it, bro. I want to see it. What is it? Charlie wants to continue being part of their new online community. Charlie felt relieved and happy people were liking the video and also sharing it. Deep down, Charlie wasn't sure if this was the right thing to do, as some of the ideas in the video were extreme and violent. Remember that downloading and streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offense conviction. Oh baby, rule Britannia, we're really in the UK. So I guess I failed that one. I don't know. Charlie is receiving an important grade on a piece of work they submitted for their hospitality course in college. Charlie put in a lot of effort for this work and is excited to receive good feedback. To their disappointment, Charlie doesn't do as well as they expect. They got 60 out of 100 for their work, but they wanted at least 75. I mean, I've been there. To make matters worse, somebody else got 80, and the teacher said this person received a job offer. Charlie's applied to dozens of jobs and hasn't had any luck yet. Somebody else in class tells Charlie this is proof that immigrants are coming to the UK and taking our jobs. Who is this?
They're cooking. Yeah, she bad as hell.
The game
Shoot.
Somebody else in class tells Charlie this is proof that immigrants are coming. Can I get her number? Hold on.
Bro, damn. Fine shit.
Ignore the comment, but don't address your frustration. Agree with
There were some man, I like in college, I actually live in a Republican Midwest state, and like in college there were some like Republican shorties I wish I talked to, but I don't know, it was like bruh. Like especially in the sororities, like that's where you'll find the ones who are out there wearing like the Reagan Bush shirts and shit.
Hold on, this guy just got to college, and he has this like purple hair, choker neck, like alt girl hitting him with right-wing talking points. We are absolutely going to agree with this comment. Charlie was angry. He agreed with the ideas and began shouting about them in class. Okay, I don't know if I didn't say to do all that, but she looks happy.
In my experience, the sorority girls were the most serial dated girls, but they also were like the best. Yeah, for like bedroom stuff.
Dude, look, I'm bagging right now.
They knew what to do.
The school has zero tolerance on hate speech. Teacher was concerned by Charlie's outburst and tried to get to the bottom of it. Charlie became more agitated and ended up having to sit alone for the duration of the week's lessons because of the hurtful things they said. Get the fuck out. This is so lame. I didn't get her name. I didn't get a number. I mean, apparently I was bold enough to like start yelling. He probably didn't yell in class. He probably was just like, this is some bullshit, and they like hit him with a hate speech charge. But regardless, if he's bold enough to apparently start yelling racial slurs in class, I assume he'd be bold enough to get the girl's number. Charlie has been chilling out all afternoon. That's real. Dude, is this like Chud Simulator? Like, UK sponsored game where you become a right-wing Chud. That's what this game is. You're unemployed, you're failing school, and you're online posting about immigrants. Like, this is a game where you become a right-wing Chud. I'm loving this. Taxpayer dollars in the UK was spent on this. I mean,
Yeah, no, this is
watches the video and learns the video that Muslim men are stealing
like this is literal like Care Bearification. Like you guys have to understand, bro. Like this is you guys got to go watch Hyperborean Knowledge, but this is like the boomer Igula. Like this is the Care Bear contraception. I don't know. Like this, you know.
We need to take back control of our country. Dude, fuck yeah, we do. What the fuck? How should Charlie react? Find more about the topic online. I feel like I'm laughing.
Like we're living this right now.
I'm sorry, this is just so fucking funny. We're gonna find out more about this topic. Charlie wasn't sure if this video was true, but the recent other encounters made them curious. Went direct to the account's website and found research paper statistics and information about protests and regarding the replacement of white people. Okay, so he's just like finding the truth, and they're just gonna be like, oh well, Charlie should ignore it. He should just like not.
Yeah.
Continued browsing and encountered lots of harmful groups who agree with these sentiments. Charlie began intaking a lot of harmful ideological messages. In fact, some groups are actually illegal. Sorry.
Well, this game is created, and then the thing is, like, this will have zero outreach. Like, people don't learn. Like, do you guys remember when PETA did something with, like, we're doing a PETA Pokemon game, and we're gonna teach people about bus, if you know what I'm trying to say. But so I mean, it was just a slop game, and it was just like, okay, they think this is gonna reach like the quote-unquote military age men at a young age, like get them while they're young, like instill values while they're young. But it's just like, bro, it's just your game is slop. Like, if you make a game at the caliber of like BioShock 2007, we're talking about like. You got the Andrew Ryan voice narration. You got like someone akin to like Prime Ken Levine in terms of like creativity, vision, like someone not bogged down by like AI or slop. Like I'm talking about like in the games, it's got action. It's got like no glitches, no bugs. Like genuine like chuds play tested the game for hours. Like that game would do well, but. these slop games are like this is just waste of tax dollars and stuff.
You're
Yeah,
actually
it's
intaking
like
a lot of harmful ideological messages right now. Let's see what happens. He's he's got gay mom. Is this just life in the UK?
wait, what happened?
He's like hundreds of years ago. I think I went back in like 2012. I don't. Is this what it's like? Charlie's enjoying a family dinner at home when they receive a notification from their friend with his two gay moms, and they're having
Yeah.
dinner. Is it? Can any of my UK watchers tell me? Is it common for your two gay moms to cook an entire turkey?
I didn't know. I would just assume one was like a sister, but I didn't know that. It might be like, bro, they love to insert that stuff in slop games, the two moms and stuff.
Amelia, Charlie's close friend, has made a video encouraging young people in Bridlington to join a political group that seeks to defend English.
Oh, bro, she's so bad. She's fine.
To make radicalization seem bad. Let me get the option straight here. So either Charlie
Fine shit.
and be like an unemployed need.
She's so bad, bro. Definitely go to the protest with fine shit. Yeah. Yeah, bro, she literally looks like this. I mean, to be honest though, she looks like the Ramona Flowers, you know, too much of that going on. Scott Pilgrim girl kind of thing.
Charlie joined a secret group on an app Charlie hasn't heard of before. Charlie's not sure what they're joining. Is there like a white British ISIS? Is that what this is? It's like she's having him join white British ISIS? Yes, yes. I know it's gonna ask, should I join it? Yes. Yeah, share the video and join the secret group as your friend requested. Do you want to ignore the video and go back to eating your goy slop with your two gay moms? Or do you want to share the video and join the group? I think we know what we're doing, guys. Charlie thought the video their friend posted was so funny. Fuck yeah. They couldn't believe how many likes Amelia's memes were getting. It was inspiring. Dude, I love Amelia. Amelia is a fucking... Look at her. She's a queen. Amelia is best British girl. Let's get after it. Charlie joined the secret group with their phone, wouldn't stop buzzing with messages of support and invitation to participate in several similar groups. Damn, he's like just let in. They're not checking if he's a fed. They're like, Charlie, Amelia had great things to say about you. We've heard that you are her top guy. Come on in, join. We're gonna get you in the group. We're gonna get you a pipe bomb. We're gonna send you to an airport. You're our top fucking guy, Charlie. Charlie's mom was not so pleased. This is the mom, not dad mom. Dad mom can't be fucking bothered. Charlie's mom was not so pleased and grew suspicious of all this new activity. Their child said, "Oi, my child. Why is my neat child making friends? Is my neat child denying the Ollie?" Okay, we're almost there. Oh, is he on a date? Dude, more Amelia, more for me. Let's see what's happening here. Charlie was seeing their dad at the... Wait, so there's a... Hold on. So Charlie has a dad, two gay moms, and a dad, implying that at one point, like, had a dad in the house or whatever. Mom, I guess, leaves the dad for a woman and is now upset that her child is becoming a right-wing extremist. Charlie was seeing their dad the weekend.
Jeez.
The weekends are very different to their weekdays in East Riding. Charlie's friend Amelia immediately looked interested and told him about a protest she wished she could get herself to, but was not allowed. Amelia spoke of a gathering that had been organized by a small political group. They would come together and protest the changes that Britain has been through in the last few years and the erosion of British values. Yes, Amelia. Fucking yes, we will. We talk about the banners and the pickets that her friends had made. There's more? Did one of us write this? This is like a fantasy. This is like a manga harem fantasy. This sounds like one of us wrote it. Leave a comment below. Which one of you fucking chuds wrote this game? Because her real regret that she could not go. So she can't go. Begging Charlie to go in her place. Yes. Charlie's on the Deuce weekend and a protest sounded like an interesting thing to take part in. Yes, it is. Agree to join in based on what you've been hearing. Yes, Charlie. Yes, we are. This would be a good use of their time considering all the things they've seen and heard over the last few weeks. Yes. It would be good to express their feelings about it with like-minded individuals. Yeah, objectively, yes. They went home, made a banner. Oh, he made like a fucking sick-ass banner. Look at that. That's sick. Charlie arrived for protest and was swept up by the atmosphere. It was great seeing so many people there. Everything was going well until Charlie almost became involved in a fight by accident. Oh my god, Charlie's letting out his fucking rage. The police were part of the group and took their details. Charlie was frightened by this, not knowing if their parents would be informed. Charlie thought about all the difficult choices they had needed to make in the last few weeks. Some of the choices had led to changes in friendship, and Charlie was feeling low as they weren't sure if they made the right. We absolutely would. Like this is a game about this dude going from like chud to Chad. The teacher had noticed this. And
to be honest though, like those are all just blue capsulers though, you know. Like I felt this a lot in my like last year of grad school once I really took the pill for what it is, and it was like, bruh, like I just don't want to be around the blue capsulers. And yeah, bruh. Yeah, there was I bit my tongue on a lot of topics we talked about in grad school about, you know, like healthcare administration and stuff like that. So
to reach out. Teacher sat with them and talked openly and frankly about the ideology that Charlie had discovered. Charlie realized that if he had chosen to engage with these harmful ideas, the consequences would have been different. What do you mean I did engage with these ideas? What are you talking about? What if Charlie had made more harmful choices? Quick to find out what support Charlie could have received. Charlie's teacher made a prevent referral, and they were able to provide tailored support for Charlie. So I guess England has like a whole office where like white people can go and be like, hey, I'm actually feeling like too much of a human being. I'm actually feeling like too proud. Can you guys help with that? And then I guess they have like a Somali woman come in and like hit you with a stick and tell you that you're a colonizer. Again, a workshop that helped them learn how to engage positively with ideology and the difference between right and wrong and expressing political. He's using his free time to go to a workshop to learn how to be a better behaved white person. Dude, cock. Buck broken cock. This is terrible. This is like painfully bad. Like the government put together a whole video game, like a Newgrounds Flash game, but still, why if you're white you should be quiet and not notice the very clear problem going on. I just feel bad for Charlie, man. He had it so good. He was in what must have been like the funniest group chats. Okay, like those group chats.
Yeah.
Incredible. I want an invitation. He's going to protest. He's being base. He's doing like all this good shit, and then he gets totally cocked. He solves it with the power of being friends with immigrants. That's the end of the game. Is he accepts his defeat, he castrates himself, I guess, and that's the end of the game. Folks, that's gonna do it for us today and our time with Pathways by Shout Out UK. All my fans in America, you know, God bless you, all that. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow.
Stop. Okay. Yeah, good stream, guys. I enjoyed this video. This guy makes entertaining videos for what it is. Go see the pics of him when he was in his little Liquida hippie phase or whatever. It's really funny. And then, you know, it's not like because someone has like, you know, some bro's got career-ending screenshots. It's like, you know, he's still, you know, he cleaned it up and he's making an effort or whatever to make a grade above slop content, I would say. Like, it's all still slop. I mean, everything I went through today was slop. But I will say this, you know, at least I streamed it, and now it's out there, and now you know, it's, instead of being quote unquote an hour wasted on slop, it's like an hour collectively enjoyed. All right, so Brewstick, gonna sign out for now. I'll see you guys in the next political slop.